Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Rainmaking Time. This is Kim Greenhouse. It is my pleasure to introduce Lew White, the author of Fossilized Customs, The Pagan Origins of Popular Customs. It's a blockbuster book. It's something that everybody on earth should read, if not at the very least for the massive connecting of dots and research that this man has done to go back throughout history and to put together and identify where history has been changed when it comes to religion, when it comes to the lost tribes of Israel. Lew White is the founder of the Torah Institute, which has developed in association with Fossilized Customs and Strawberry Islands. His mission is to spread the Torah and the teachings of the Creator of the universe. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lew White to It's Rainmaking Time. Good day, sir.
Hello. It's wonderful to be here, and thank you for making me available in this way.
Well, I tell you, I did not grow up in a religious household. My parents, my father in particular, had given me a choice whether I wanted to, quote, go to Sunday school or not, and whether I wanted to be involved in, quote, religion. He was turned off by the religion, and so was my mother, and they wanted us to have access, if we wanted to go to temple. But the reality was, in our household, they had not had any background, really, regarding reading the holy books, looking at scriptures. They didn't have mentors and teachers to even pass basic knowledge to them. So it never came through with myself and my two sisters. And a good friend of mine, actually a dear friend of mine, had given me your book, Fossilized Customs. And I didn't realize, but it is so packed that the 218 pages, really, if it were in a larger print, could probably be 500 pages easily. I cover a lot of subjects that are controversial, that are about knowledge, that are about new knowledge, hidden knowledge, ancient knowledge. And therefore, I don't have the right to say, well, religion, that's off the table. Oh, spirituality, that's off the table. That's uncomfortable. Consequently, I cover things where anytime you're in the realm of new discovery and exploration, you're in new ground. And so I consider this really important for religious people around the world to get a handle on what has happened throughout history. And I guess the first thing I want to ask you is, where does the word God come from?
That's a good question, and these are the kinds of things that I research, the individual words in history. And what it really came from is it's originally, it actually goes back beyond this, but the encyclopedias say that it's a Teutonic word, and it was previously used to reference pagan deities. And when these Teutonic tribes...
What does that mean? I'm sorry. I'm going to just really take it from, I know nothing. What does Teutonic mean?
Well, the Teutonic tribes would be tribes such as the Scandinavian peoples, mostly the Anglo-Saxons and those sorts of people. And they were worshiping the sun, just as many of the previous empires had done, the land empires like Babylon. When I say land empire, I'm talking about regions like, Babylon and Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome, and so forth. But there were sea empires too, and I will talk about those. But these Teutonic tribes were the peoples that we know today as the lost tribes of Israel, which happened to go into those regions. Now, they went everywhere. You can't say that white people are the Teutonic tribes and they're the descendants of Israel only. That is true that they are, but they're lost tribes. They're not just Jews. They're or Yahudim. There are all kinds of different peoples from these tribes like Dan and Ephraim and Naphtali and Zebulun, Ephraim. But you see, the Teutonic tribes worshipped the sun, and they typically used references to this deity as Baal, which is a good, clean Hebrew word, Baal, which basically means Lord. But they were using it as a proper name, and they were worshiping the sun, and they would call, in some cases, the proper name God. It was sometimes transliterated Gaud or Gawd, but anyway, the sound that we use for the word God was a proper name. And when you ask what's that bright light in the sky, they would know that you were referring to the deity. Gott, quite commonly. Gott is the name of the region. Got land is where most of the deities were claimed to be from in the Teutonic tribes, and they used this word though originally, and then when they were converted to Christianity, which started to occur around the 6th century to the 8th century, people like Boniface started to be missionaries to the northern areas, the Norse areas, where the Druids were and other Germanic tribes. These are Teutonic tribes. They would turn that term over and associate it with the Supreme Being, which we know as the Creator, who I call by the name Yahuwah, which is 4 letters in Hebrew, 4 vowels, as Josephus calls them, Yod, He, Ua, He. And when I say Ua, I mean what people are familiar with when they say Wa, which is the 6th letter. But there's a lot to cover there. I mean, there's differences, and I want to go back to the original sounds. And we can talk about the spelling of the name and how we pronounce it and all that if people want to. But the word God, though, does originate from a proper name of a pagan deity from the Teutonic tribes. If anybody looks it up on the internet, they can just simply Google or do a search engine on the words God, Teutonic tribes, Christianity, and they'll see the encyclopedic sources.
It appears in the book, Fossilized Customs, there is no such thing as Christianity. There is no such thing as Christ. There is no such thing as a Bible. Explain that.
Well, the words that we're using is what I'm referring to, not the idea. The word Christianity, for example, is not found anywhere in the text, but the word Christianos is found, I think, twice. Now, that's suspicious, because what that means is what these people that were followers of the rabbi from Nazareth were calling themselves, even though we're quoted by extracting a little bit here and there, they make this stuff up, making you believe they were first called Christians at Antioch. Well, they're snatching a verse out that's not even discussing the subject that's being addressed, and they're bending it to an idea. If you want to know what they were called, for example, you go to Acts 24, verse 5, and Shaul was speaking to a ruler there, and he said that he was referring to them as Nazarene, or in many translations you'll see it attempted to be transliterated as Nazarenes. But it's actually Nazarene, the plural of the Hebrew term for Nazar, which means branches or branch, and it also simultaneously means watchman. Now, that's coming straight out of the text of Yirmiyahu, or Jeremiah, chapter 31, where the renewed covenant is given, and it actually says that on the hills of Ephraim, Nazarene would arise, and this is a reference specifically to the lost tribes of Ephraim being more inclusive than just Ephraim, because Ephraim is a collective term that's used for all the tribes of the northern tribes, the house of what we call the house of Israel.